Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Lee, aka Rollin Thunder. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the importance of earplugs, whether it's a good idea, bad idea, and everything in between idea. So sit back, relax, grab yourselves a cup of tea, and let us get into the video. So ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing? I hope we're all well. COVID restrictions have slowly started to be eased and everything is slowly getting back to some level of normality. What do you call normal, I hear you ask? Well, good luck with that one, because there's no such thing as normal anymore. Today's video is about the importance of hearing protection, and I'm doing this to state a point because I have a video which, if it hasn't already come out, will be coming out very soon, talking about earplugs. Now, as you all know, my bike isn't exactly quiet. The last time I did a decibel check on this at idle, it was around about the 100-105 decibels, which is in no way street legal. But I have my reasonings, and my reasons is that loud pipes save lives. A loud exhaust on a motorcycle or even on a scooter gives you more presence on the road than a flashy set of headlights or a horn, in my opinion. So with that being said, where does the whole idea of earplugs come into it? Well, I shall tell you. I've recently tested a set of earplugs made by a company called Decibullz, and I got them fairly cheaply. They run at about 30 quid, something like that, on Amazon at the moment, and I haven't got them in at the moment, but I'm doing it to prove a point. Now, in the test that I did with these earplugs, and like I said, if the video hasn't been put out yet, you soon will be seeing it with any luck. Basically, I'm trying to test the differences between using earplugs and doing motovlogs and not using earplugs and doing motovlogs. Now, from what I've gathered so far in my limited amount of research, is that earplugs don't make you shout as much, or should I say don't make you talk as loudly. How true that is, you know, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Like I said, right now I'm not wearing them, so it probably sounds like I'm talking rather loudly when I don't need to. But again, like I said, it's all part of the test. The earplugs that I bought are the what I would call infinitely moldable. Basically, what that means is that you take one earplug at a time. Once you've sized up your ear canal, because you get different filters to go in the actual earplug themselves to cater for each individual size ear hole or ear canal, whatever you want to call it. And I found, for me, the medium ones tend to work the best. Oh, excuse me. So that being said, once the whole entire process, from the minute you size them up to the minute you warm them up to molding them into your ear and being cooled and permanently set and whatever else, in total was probably about 15 minutes. 15, maybe 20 minutes if you have to keep reheating them to change the molding slightly. And that's the beautiful thing about these particular earplugs, is that you can actually remold them infinite amount of times. So say for example, I don't know, I have some weird accident and one of my ears, that what they call a conch or concha, which is at the big, you know, shell like part of the earlobe, if for some reason that was to deform or change shape for whatever reason, I could heat up the earplugs and remold them to suit that particular shape, which I think is fucking epic. I think that's a brilliant way to get around, you know, different earlobe shapes and, you know, different size earlobes and all that sort of stuff. Because let's face it, no two ear holes or ear canals, earlobes, whatever, are the same. And I think that's a really good idea. And if you go onto Decibullz website, you can actually buy different variants of them. So you can buy ones that are, you know, professional level headphone ear defenders for like music. You can buy ones that are specifically designed for shooting or motorsports or, you know, whatever you want really. And I honestly didn't think that these particular earplugs would be any good. I mean, I know there's ones online that you can get made by a company called Custom Fit Guards, and there's a few other ones around on the market that you can get you know, to match different ear, to get them custom fitted and all the rest of it, yada yada yada. But they cost a hell of a lot of money, which is not something that I have at the moment. I don't have 100, 150 pounds or whatever to get these earplugs made. So I thought I would try these 30 quid ones, see how they go. And I'll be honest, from my initial testing, they work an absolute treat. Then, like I said, I'm deliberately not wearing them now so that you guys can tell the difference between me using them and me not using them. Because the idea behind them is that they block out enough sound or enough ambient noise so that you don't end up with a headache, or you don't end up with ringing in your ears. I mean, granted, I've got tinnitus anyway, so using earplugs is a bit of a moot point for me, but if it helps reduce my tinnitus, even by a little bit, you know, they're worth it. Do you know what I mean? And the idea behind it is obviously when I do track days, or when I eventually get around to doing track days, I want to be able to obviously hear what I'm doing afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Because it would be nice to be able to hear what's going on around me. And granted, you know, I do know that in previous videos, like when I've been out with other people on bikes and so on, that I do tend to shout a lot, and I don't really want to do that because it ruins the quality of the videos for the people watching it, and it ruins the experience for me making it, if that makes any sense at all. Which is why I kind of invested in these earplugs to begin with. So I want to be able to still do what I want, still do the thing I love doing, which is obviously riding a motorbike, but I want to be able to be in a position where when I get off the bike at the end of the day, or when I've done my commute to work or back from work or gone out wherever and I've done a video for you guys to watch, I want to be able to turn around and say, do you know what, I've been out all day, I got my video done, I had a brilliant time doing it, and I'm not deaf and I haven't given myself a headache. You know, that's the thing that I'm aiming for. I'm hoping with the two videos that are going to come out pretty much back to back regarding earplugs and ear protection, I'm hoping you guys will see the difference between one and the other. I know we can only hope, but I guess it depends on how loud you actually watch the videos. So this is my own personal disclaimer really, that I don't particularly want people to turn the volume up so loud that they end up deafening themselves, because I don't want that. It's alright for me to become deaf, but it's not so great for my viewers to become deaf. But I think, in all honesty, just from talking now, I think earplugs are a good way to go. Because I've even found, even now, I've been on the bike for about, what, 15 minutes or so? And I can already feel myself getting louder and louder. I mean, you tell me, do you think I sound any louder now than what I did when I did the review on the earplugs themselves? Or am I quieter now than I was when I was doing the video with the earplugs? Put your comments down below. My main concern really is obviously my own audio health. It's all well and good me being able to do the videos, but if I can't hear them and I can't do the editing after it, then it's kind of pointless. Do you know what I mean? And like I've said before, I'm 36 years old, I'm 37 this year, and I don't particularly want to be going into my later years being as deaf as a post. It's all well and good saying that oh yeah, you know, I've been riding bikes my whole entire life, I've never worn earplugs and I'm now deaf and blah 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 blah, because people just turn around and say, Lee, if you've been riding motorbikes for so long and you notice that your hearing started to fail, why didn't you do something about it? To which case I will not have an answer, because it'll be my own fault. Do you know what I mean? I don't see the point in ruining one of my five senses because I'm just being either naive, ignorant or arrogant. For example, I was out with my mate Ash and his mate Ty, and both of their bikes being different generations of R1 were very, very, very loud. So as you can imagine, being the slowest of the three of us, I was listening to both a Big Bang R1 from 2013 I think, and also a 2017 R1, affectionately known as the Iron Man shape. So as you can appreciate, listening to that for the best part of maybe 4 hours on that particular day, I was absolutely stone deaf. I couldn't hear what was going on around me. I could not hear what my missus was saying to me when I got in from the actual ride itself. I couldn't really hear the telly very well. And it wasn't only until the following morning that the ringing in my ears actually died down enough for me to be able to actually hear things properly. It's like the amount of reverberation that I was experiencing when I was out with those two, absolutely unreal. And my God, the noise. I mean, I love the sound of the cross-plane crank engine. It sounds almost like a V-twin, but it's not. If you can imagine if an inline 4 and a triple had a baby, that's what the noise it would sound like. That's the only way I can describe it. The cross-plane crank Big Bang R1 engine is absolutely biblical when it comes to the actual noise. It really is. And that's what I love about them. I mean, naturally, if I do get a new bike, or get another bike at some point, whether it be this year, next year, or whenever, it will go alongside the 1098, because I'm not selling this. This is the flagship bike for the channel. If it weren't for this bike, I wouldn't have a channel. I mean, like I've always said, yes, okay, there's been some good points and there's been some bad points, but thankfully, after the engine rebuild and after the service that Reese down at Bike Nuts did, and if you are in the same sort of area as me, like Morden, Sutton, anywhere down south really, Sutton, Kingston, all those sort of ways, if you get in contact with Reese at Bike Nuts and quote Rollin Thunder 10 when it comes to paying, you will get a nice little 10% discount on your bill. Now, I don't know how long this has been going to go on for, but depending on how well this actual promotion goes, it may go on for a little while. But if you're a new customer down at Bike Nuts, quote the code Rollin Thunder 10 and you will get 10% off. That's the official stuff over and done with, and back to the vlog. Since her service and the weight loss as well, and if you don't know what I mean by that, basically the battery that was out of this, the standard lead acid battery, and if you haven't seen the video to that, I'll put a link to that in the description or in the card above. The actual battery that came out of this bike weighed around about 4.7, 4.8 kilos, which is, as you can imagine, fucking heavy. And thanks to replacing that standard battery, or that standard lead acid battery, with a lithium ion battery supplied by Ducati Mondo, again, I'll put a link to that in the description, so if you want one of these particular batteries for your 1098, 1198, 848, or any other bike that it happens to fit, you'll be able to grab one from there. But the whole weight saving, 5 kilos. So as you can imagine, that has really upset the front of the bike a little bit, because now there's not that much weight at the front. She's become very skittish. And if anyone's ever ridden a 1098 with a standard battery compared to a lithium ion battery, you'll probably understand this as well. Or even an 1198 or an 848, again, you guys should understand this as well. She just doesn't require much input anymore, you know, just to get her to move from side to side. And in some ways that's a good thing, but for me, not so much. But it is what it is. I'll get used to it eventually, and like I always say, if you don't try, you'll never know. And I'm hoping, with any luck, that with the new pads I put in, with the new oil that she's had, with the new filter and so on and so forth, and everything else that's happened to her, a kind of hoping that that's going to bring her back to life, as it were, because let's face it, she's a 13-year-old superbike with nigh on 26,000 miles on her, and she could do with a little bit of TLC, do you know what I mean? So if I'm not mistaken, even the previous owner never did any work on her mechanically wise. I mean, I know that the previous owner had one dash changed and a few other little bits and pieces, but I don't actually remember exactly what he had done and when. But obviously I've had this bike for 4 years, so anything that he's done has been overshadowed by whatever I've done. But anyway, that's by the by. That's a topic for another video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. I hope you guys managed to get something out of it. If you've got any comments or got any questions, feel free to stick it in the comments box down below, and I will try and get round to answering all of them, or any of them if I'm lucky to get any questions, and I'll get round to answer them as soon and as quickly as I can. But for now, this is Lee, aka Rollin Thunder, saying look after yourselves, look after each other, stay safe on the road, stay away from COVID-19, and as always, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, adios!